I wanted to make a quick update about this Druid leveling build. I used this build to level from 1 to 50 in a few hours yesterday. After level 50, I entered tier 3 nightmare difficulty, and the goal became to get to tier 4 or torment difficulty as soon as possible. With some lucky drops on the aspect, this build killed the fallen temple boss at level 58 with absolutely mediocre gears, and now I'm ready for the tier 4 difficulty. This build is very fun to play. It is very tanky and destroys mobs super fast. In the dungeon, you can run into a cluster of mobs, kill them all with one cast of the trample skill, followed by 2 waves of landslide attacks automatically. You don't even need to look back. Then you move to the next cluster of mobs, kill them all with one cast of Poison Creeper, followed by 2 waves of landslide attacks automatically. After that, you often get a Poison Creeper cooldown reset, ready to cast it again, or Trample will be ready. If no skill is ready, you can simply use the Landslide directly. Then every skill is probably ready to rinse and repeat. I'll break down the skill tree and the gears, etc. All of this is on the D4 Planner website shared in the description below. If you like the content, please smash the like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell to never miss a video. I made very simple changes on the level 50 skill tree. For the basic skill, we still use Storm Strike with Enhanced Storm Strike and Fierce Storm Strike. And then our main core skill, Landslide. And very importantly, pick the Primal Landslide to get the guaranteed critical strike. And then we have 1 point in the Heart of the Wild to be able to get to 3 points in Wild Impulses. And the next, we have Earthen Bulwark skill to give us protection, to get us really tanky. And we use Preserving Earthen Bulwark to get Fortify. I think I removed 1 point in Abundance here, and also 3 points in Nature's Reach, and put them into Ancestral Fortitude and also Vigilance to get more damage reduction. Next is our Point Creeper with Enhanced Point Creeper and also Ferocious Point Creeper to increase the duration of the poison damage, and 3 points in Call of the Wild to increase the damage of Poison Creeper. And the next, we get all these points for the Earth's passives to increase the damage and also the protection on the Fortify. Next, we have Trample, Enhanced Trample, and very importantly, take the Savage Trample to be able to get 40 spirit back after you cast it. And then definitely go for 3 points in the Envenom. And for the ultimate skill, we have all the points into Petrify, and then 1 point into Defiance, because we want to get 3 points in Natural Disaster to increase the Earth skill damage to the vulnerable enemies. And of course 3 points in Defensive Posture to increase the Fortify that we gain from all sources. And lastly, we use Nature's Fury as our key passive. There is no specific stat requirement for leveling this build, but you have to pay attention to the aspects that are used. On the helmet, we have aspect of Mending, so this is to increase the Earthen Bulwark skill duration to allow you to be more tanky. The most important stat is the rank of Poison Creeper. If you can get some stats such as total armor cooldown or even basic skill attack speed on this piece would be awesome, but it's not necessary. For the chest, we have aspect of Quicksand. So this is really to slow down the enemy to crowd control them. For the stats, you will need all kinds of damage reduction on it. On the gloves, we have the aspect of Subterranean. So this is a new aspect for Season 1. The most important stat is the +2 rank of Landslide. And this aspect basically allows you to automatically cast Landslide whenever you use Poison Creeper. So this is one of the enabler for this build. On the pants, we have aspect of Might. So this is to get further damage reduction when you use basic skill. 20% damage reduction is very strong. You are looking for basically the similar stats on the chest on this one for all of the damage reduction stats and some life or even total armor on it. I also forgot to put the gems into this one. You can further put 2 gems to increase the damage reduction. And then on the boot, I was really lucky to get this drop of aspect of symbiotic with a pretty good roll on it. I was looking for some movement speed on this piece, but I couldn't get it yet. The stats here are all not necessary, but the spirit cost reduction is good to have. I was also lucky to get this drop of the weapon with pretty high roll on the damage point, and also with the aspect of trampled earth. So this will allow you to automatically cast 6 landslide pillars after you use the trample skill. So this is the second enabler for this build. You are also looking for vulnerable damage stats, critical damage for earth skill, critical damage. Definitely this weapon is not optimized yet. On my amulet, all of the stats here are absolutely terrible. None of them is useful. The only useful stuff is the aspect, which gives us up to 67.5% critical damage for our earth skill. This is very helpful for our damage output. On the rain, I have life, lucky hit chance, critical strike damage with earth skill, and critical strike chance, which is actually pretty good. And this one has the aspect of crash stone to further increase the critical strike damage for earth skill. This is very helpful on the damage. And pay attention to the Malignant Heart used here. So this heart will allow us to pull all the enemies towards us during the fight, which is very critical. And the last ring, this is another lucky drop for me. It has the aspect of aftershock. So this will basically double the pillars for the landslide and also further increase the damage output, which is very strong. For the stats, we have damage to the close enemies, lucky hit chance, vulnerable damage, and also critical strike chance, which are pretty good. And the Malignant Heart used here is simply get some more damage. For level 58, I'm very early on the Paragon tree. On the basic board, I picked up some rare notes for the damage, life, more damage here, and I get the exploit glyphs here, which is very important. So my plan is to get the dexterity to meet the requirement to be able to get vulnerable more consistently, which is very strong and useful for the damage output. And on the first board, as you can see, I'm marching towards this legendary node, which is the Earthen Devastation, to have a more damage output increase for the Earth skill. And on the way to that node, I also picked up this rare node, Oppress, to get more damage and also critical damage. And also some of the very good small magic node around here to get more critical strike damage here and here. And also some damage to the crowd control enemies, which is very good. Again, I have put everything into the D4 Planner website for you to check out the details. The link is in the description. You can also refer to this video to see how I leveled this character from level 1 to level 50. Hope this video is useful for you to level your character, and see you in the next one.